Okay guys, today we're gonna talk about 3 very underrated things that can improve your tone and your playing and also are very, very cheap. First of all, the strings, in particular the gauge of the string, is so important in determining the overall sound and the overall playing of the guitarist. Me, for the longest time, I went for heavy strings because I thought, yeah, that's the sound, that's Steve Ray Vaughan, and that's it. But actually I was very, very, very wrong, because first of all, they were not comfortable for me. The strings were hindering my playing abilities, and all I got from that was tendinitis in my elbow.
Great job.
Another thing that I noticed when playing heavy strings, in my case, was that my tone was not very clear, especially in the lower notes. The sound was very muffled, not very clear. So I decided to go back to lighter strings, and that was a revelation. Well, I did not decide to go back. I just tried a guitar of a friend of mine that had very light strings with my setup. It was amazing. The sound was clearer with my setup, with my pedals and my amp, and I could play easily. And all it took was $7. And the change that it makes, it's amazing. Another thing is that strings can be too heavy or too light. For example, Joe Bonamassa uses 11s because he said that otherwise it would just play around blasting through notes without thinking about it. Instead, with the heavier strings, he's forced to think about what he has to play, because it's not that easy with 11s to go that fast, you know? The other way around is that your strings might be too heavy for you, so they stop you, they hinder your playing, and that was happening with me. Second thing that influences the sound and the tone and the way you play in a major way is the pick. It's still a very underrated thing to address. When we think about shaping our tone, we think about guitars, pickups and amps, but we never think about the pick, and it actually makes a huge difference. Here I have a bunch of picks, and I will demonstrate that changing the pick you can change the sound. What I cannot demonstrate to you is that changing the pick will improve your playing. That's something you have to try by yourself. So what I suggest is buying a bunch of picks. It will cost you like $5. Try out all the measures, because it really costs you nothing and can improve your tone and your playing vastly. Really, it's an investment that I suggest to everyone. These are the lightest that I have. I don't know, it's like, I don't know, they are very light, they bend very easily. This instead is the 3mm, the big stub. Yeah, it's much more focused. This is the stubby, which is the smaller 3mm one. This is much similar to the big stubby, but I think the sound is more present. It's more focused, maybe even more. And just for giggles, this is a coin. The biggest difference I cannot show you is the way they feel while you're playing. They feel very different because not only for the gauge of the pick, but also because of the shape of the pick and the density of the material. that changes a lot how it feels when you're hitting the strings, and therefore how it influences your playing. Another thing that I suggest to everybody is try to play with your hands, because that might be the sound you're looking for and you don't even know. Third thing and last one is pickup height, meaning the distance between the strings and your pickups. Now, this is by far the most underrated thing that I have come across. Nobody talks about it. I don't know why, but it makes a huge difference. I will not show you this because I spent like 10 days finding the right height for the pickups on my guitar, so I don't want to touch them, okay? But it can really change the sound. It can increase the output if you bring the pickup closer to the strings, so the pickup can become hotter because it's near, so it picks up more of the string vibrations. The height of the pickup also influences the muddiness, if you want, of the sound. The closer it gets to the string, the muddier, okay? But if you take it too far from the strings, it cannot pick up properly the vibrations. So there it's a trade-off. If you don't like the sound of your guitar, if you think it's muddy, if you think your pickups are unbalanced, okay? So if one pickup is louder than the other, don't blame it on the guitar, because maybe your pickups just need to be set. Another thing is that you have to consider also the string gauge. When you change the gauge of your strings, you might want to considering changing the height of your pickups, because usually pickups are set considering a standard gauge for that particular guitar. So just wrap this up. You can experiment with these three things that are damn cheap: bunch of strings, bunch of picks, and a screwdriver just to change the height, and you can have a completely different tone. And also, you could play better. Just think of it. You might find new inspiration in your playing. You could play better for free and instantly with a day of experimentation. So I highly suggest you try these things out, and thank you for watching my videos. I hope this was informative, useful. If you like this video, like it, and maybe share it with a friend. Who knows, maybe subscribe, and we'll see you next time.